Why Americans lie to your face about your bad art, and why it works. Somebody posts a painting online that genuinely looks like it was made by a toddler with a fever dream, and the comments say, "Amazing! Keep going!" That's not politeness. That's not lying. That's actually a documented psychological strategy. And today, we're breaking down why an entire culture decided that telling beginners the truth is the wrong move. Here's the scenario that keeps coming up. Someone shares their first attempt at a hobby, painting, pottery, playing guitar, whatever, and it's rough, genuinely rough. And instead of critique, they get flooded with encouragement. "Great job! Keep it up! So proud of you for trying." No mention of the obvious flaws. In a lot of cultures, that reaction looks dishonest, even harmful. If the work is bad, shouldn't someone say so? Isn't sugarcoating just setting someone up to stay bad forever? Except here's the thing nobody tells you. This isn't random niceness. It's built on a very specific idea about what praise is actually for. And once you understand what that praise is actually doing, the whole thing stops looking naive. The core belief is simple. Praising a beginner was never about the quality of the result. It's about the act of continuing. Nobody is a master on day one. Not painters, not musicians, not surgeons. The only way anyone gets from bad to good is by surviving the bad part long enough to practice their way out of it. And the number one thing that kills that process isn't bad technique, it's quitting. So the logic flips completely. The question isn't, is this good? The question is, will telling them this discourages them from trying again? If the honest answer is yes, then blunt criticism isn't helpful feedback. It's just a fast way to make sure that person never picks up a paintbrush again. There's actually language for this. People describe it as a "welcome to the journey" phrase, not a quality review. "Good job, keep going" doesn't mean this is museum worthy. It means you showed up, you tried something hard, and I want you to come back and do it again. Now here's where it gets genuinely surprising, because this isn't just about hurt feelings. There's actual military-grade data behind it. Fighter pilot training in the US is built entirely around this principle. New pilots get thrown into simulated combat against instructors flying older, supposedly inferior aircraft, and the new pilots get absolutely destroyed. Every time. Then comes the debrief, where instead of being torn apart for losing, the trainee walks through exactly what went wrong, piece by piece, and what to try differently next time. That process repeats, mission after mission, and slowly, the outclassed rookie in the far superior jet starts winning. The entire philosophy is that survival through the first several encounters matters more than being good in the first encounter. Punish the failure too hard early on, and you don't get a better pilot, you get a pilot who's afraid to take the fight, which in a real war gets people killed. Swap fighter pilot for kid learning to garden, and you get the exact same logic showing up in completely ordinary places. People who are actually good at keeping plants alive will tell you flat out, they've killed a lot of plants. The difference between them and someone who doesn't have a green thumb usually isn't natural talent. It's that they didn't quit after the first dead plant. But here's the twist that makes this whole conversation interesting. Because not every culture agrees, and the contrast is kind of brutal. Compare this to cultures with famously punishing training systems. Russian figure skating and chess programs get brought up constantly. Athletes are pushed to be flawless from an extremely young age, under enormous pressure, sometimes at real cost to their health. And to be fair, that system does produce world-class results, but it also produces a much higher casualty rate of talent. Kids who get told their work is bad once, internalize it, and simply stop. There's a story that captures this perfectly. An art teacher once told a young student her shadow on a painted apple looked bad. That one comment made her stop painting for decades, until she picked it up again in retirement and turned out to be genuinely gifted. Decades lost over a single piece of harsh feedback aimed at a literal child. So which approach actually works better? Depends entirely on what you're optimizing for. If your goal is producing a small number of flawless elite performers who can survive brutal pressure, harsh critique from day one has a track record. If your goal is keeping the largest possible number of people engaged in trying new things, which, not coincidentally, tends to produce a lot of unexpected innovation, encouragement wins.
And that second goal might explain something much bigger than hobby painting.
People who've worked in both American and more perfection-obsessed business cultures often describe the same pattern. One culture tends to take an existing idea and refine it to an almost unbelievable level of precision. The other tends to produce more raw, half-finished, genuinely new ideas, because more people felt safe enough to try something dumb in public in the first place. Neither approach is objectively better, but it's hard to deny that a culture built on keep going produces a lot more first attempts than a culture built on get it right or don't bother. There's also a psychological research angle backing this up directly. Studies on praising children have consistently found that praising effort and persistence, not natural talent, not the finished result, builds more resilience and a stronger long-term work ethic. Tell a kid you're a natural, and they tend to quit the second something gets hard, because struggling suddenly threatens the natural label. Tell a kid, look how much you improved, and struggling becomes proof the system is working. And there's a quieter piece of this too. Praise isn't only about the finished piece of art. It's often about the fact that someone was brave enough to show their unfinished, imperfect attempt to other people at all. That takes nerve. Plenty of adults never post the bad painting, never sing in front of anyone, never sign up for the class, specifically because they're scared of exactly the reaction OP was asking about. So when you see, great job, keep it up, under something that objectively isn't great, you're not watching dishonesty. You're watching a culture make a calculated bet that 100 encouraged amateurs will eventually produce more genuinely great work than 10 people who got told the truth once and never tried again. It's not that Americans can't tell good from bad. It's that they've decided, as a matter of strategy, that discouraging a beginner is almost never worth what it costs. And honestly, look around at how much stuff Americans build, ship, and try in public that turns out half-baked, and how little that seems to embarrass anyone. That's not an accident either. It's the exact same root cause as the painting comment. Trying badly in public, over and over, is treated as the price of eventually trying well. If you want to see this exact same encourage first, judge later instinct show up somewhere way more surprising, like why nobody in America bothers putting bars on their windows, that video's coming up next on this channel, and it connects back to this one in a way you won't expect. Tell me in the comments, harsh critique or constant encouragement? Which one actually made you better at something? I want to hear it.